money.
Hi guys! I know it's been a while. I've been on holiday, but today I'm back with an eyebrow tutorial, and I tried to make it as simple as possible because I think a lot of people think this whole eyebrow business and having it like on fleek is like really hard or intimidating, or it's just like eh. I think eyebrows are a really personal thing. And there's no real right or wrong. There's just kind of like basic rules that you can kind of stick to, like where it should start and where it should end, but the general shape of it is really up to you. And you know, makeup is fun, so you can experiment all you like, but this is just how I do it. And today I'm going to be talking about 3 main products that you can use for your brows to achieve that like really natural look. And I'm gonna start from a really easy kind of application, which is just using a powder. And I'm using the Naked Urban Decay Basics, and that's just an eyeshadow palette, but the browns in it are really cool. So it's kind of perfect for recreating like the color of your natural eyebrows if you have kind of dark hair like me. And the general rule for color is that it should stay within 1 or 2 shades of your hair color. But you know, there's also people with really light blonde hair and they rock like dark eyebrows. So you know, some things don't have to follow the rules, it just kind of works. So yeah, if you're interested in checking out how different eyebrow products look and the application of it, just keep watching. So I'm gonna start by mixing this dark brown and a little bit of the black just to get kind of close to the color of my hair. So I'm using this Laura Mercier, it's like a flat top eyeliner brush, but I use it for my eyebrows because the bristles are really defined, and so it gets into the eyebrows really well and also creates that really crisp kind of edge I like. So when I use powder, I usually just start on the bottom and in this middle area, because then my hairs start getting really sparse and disappear. So then just run that lightly towards the outer corner, and then I'll just slowly build it up. And going back and just taking more of the brown and just a little bit of the black. I use more black towards the end because I want the color a bit darker. And I find this really just helps you to map out the shape of the eyebrow as well as create the most natural look. Otherwise, if you start from the beginning and it's really heavy, you'll get those like really kind of block eyebrows. By starting from the end and having the darker colors kind of fade gradually towards the front, this will give you the most natural look. And usually when I use powders on my eyebrows, I'll just fill in the front sections as well as the rest of the brow with a bit of gel. And today I'm using the Benefit GimMe Brow. And what the eyebrow gel does is it kind of sets it all in place and also keeps your hairs from kind of fluffing and flying away everywhere, especially if it's kind of long. It also helps define each individual hair as well, so your eyebrows don't look too powdery. I've used this one a lot before and it's good because it has these little fibers in it. So just sweeping that across the front, and it just like accentuates your hair and adds kind of fullness to your brows. But make sure you put it on really lightly, because if you put it on too hard, it will actually take off the powder that you just put on. So if you guys don't know how to kind of map out the shape, generally you can take a straight eyebrow brush or like pencil or whatever you have and line it up here, and that's the beginning, and then through the pupil, and then it should end at the outer edge of your eye. So if I map it out there, it should end about here. So this of course changes when you have a really like dramatic wing or dramatic eyeliner, because then it'll extend kind of where the outer parts of your eye finishes. So if my wing was like out here, then maybe you could just extend the eyebrow a little bit longer just to like compensate for your intense eye makeup. So I recommend using this powder method if you already have really structured brows and you just need a little bit of filling, or yeah, you just want like a natural look and don't want to put too much time and effort into it. So the second product you can use for your eyebrows is a pencil, and this one is the one I got from Marc Jacobs. And it's similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz because it's got that waxy texture and it's got a really nice ashy tone which suits the natural color of your eyebrows. So I'll just be using this one on my eyebrows and kind of just following the same concept as the shadow, starting from the bottom and working your way out towards the tail of the eyebrow, coloring that in and then coming forward again. So again, just starting from the middle on the bottom and then dragging it out towards the end. And I'm just using really small strokes just to kind of recreate the hairs. You don't want to just fully drag it over with one stroke, otherwise it'll look really unnatural. And using just a light hand, we're just feathering the color across. And then at the front, I like to make the strokes go upwards and then slowly feathering sideways again. And if you think you've pressed too hard in certain areas or you want to just tone it down a bit, just take the spoolie and brush it through lightly, and then that'll just make the entire brow flow in one direction as well as blend out any harsh lines. I like it. Okay, so that is the pencil. Using the eye pencil and the powder have the same kind of natural effect as long as you blend out the pencil with the spoolie and it's not too strong and it's kind of like an everyday brow. So out of the 3 eyebrow products, I think this Dipbrow pomade is actually one of the hardest to use, only because it takes more practice and if you get it wrong, it'll kind of smudge everywhere. Plus, it's waterproof as well, but this one's like intensely waterproof. And I'm just dipping that gently into the pot. And I think the key with this is less is more, especially if you haven't used it before, because a little goes a long way. You don't want to start off with too much product, otherwise it's hard to kind of take it off and, you know, make it look natural. I like to just dab it on my hand to kind of like warm up the product a bit and also take off any excess. So once you've done that, just follow the same rules and start from the bottom. And a tip for using the pomade is to use a really fine eyebrow brush so it recreates individual hairs, and this one is really good for it, which is why I always use it for eyebrows. So then when that's done, just take a little bit more and fill in the end. But this time, instead of just creating that top edge, we're going to actually feather it so it looks like our natural hairs like growing individually. So we're just going to kind of draw in these hairs and use a really, really light hand. By doing this, it'll kind of look like your natural hairs. And then I'm going to do the same for the front as well, and then go up again. Only because I have very little hair here. But make sure it's really light and you don't create this like blob chunk thing. And then using whatever's left on the brush, just feather it in. pomade, you can't really go through with a spoolie, otherwise you'll kind of ruin the whole look and just like smudge it all over the place. But you can still go over with the brow gel. Usually I just use it in the front here just to give it a little bit more emphasis on those front hairs. And then just brushing the rest of it through. So I feel like depending on how much time you have, this one would probably take the most time because it kind of, it's like more high maintenance, but it also stays on a lot longer. So yeah, it just depends what you're gonna be wearing your brows to and taking them out to play at. Anyway. That is it. So those are the 3 products that I generally use for my brows, and depending on how much time you have or where you're going, like if it's just to the grocery shops or like running errands, then I'll probably just put on some powder. Otherwise, if I'm like going clubbing or I'm going swimming or anything that's like hardcore intense work, or to the gym, I'll use the pomade or even the pencil because they're both waterproof and they have like a longer endurance type of thing, so you can take your brows out to play for a longer period of time. Yay! So that's the video, guys. I hope you found it helpful and easy. Whatever you feel comfortable in and putting on your face, then that's fine. Remember to like if you found it helpful or you liked this video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later. Bye! More a petit similar to the Anastasia baby. Dusty. So now we're just gonna start blending out the highlighted areas.